The Undercountry Music News is an excerpt of the weekly internet broadcast Undercountry Music, which features music from great country artists you won't hear on mainstream radio, as well as a roundup of the most interesting country music news of the week without all the fluff. This program you're listening to right now contains only the news portion of the show. To listen and subscribe to the full weekly episode containing the music and interviews, please visit undercountrymusic.com or simply subscribe to the Undercountry Music Podcast on iTunes. Let's get into it. Then and there, hit the brakes. Stop, go. What am I on Sesame Street? Shooby-dooby-dooby. How about some newsy? Are you ready? Strap yourself in. And I'm going to hit that accelerator, and we're going to floor it to the Undercountry Music News. Oh, yeah, I had some fun today researching the Undercountry Music News. I was box trolling before I went box trolling today. I already talked about that, didn't I? I sure did. The Undercountry Music News. That's where I bring you the essential country music news, the real country music news. You see, if you go out and try to get the country music news of the week, you're going to run into something. And I cut through that something and make your life a whole lot easier. And, you know, that's why, that's my value proposition as it would be. You see, when you go on all these websites, you type in country music news in Google, and you go there, and you go site to site looking for the country music news. Not only is every site going to have different stuff, but every site is going to have a whole lot of stuff that just isn't news. That's just drivel and garbage and press releases. You know, and my job is I go on there, I find the one or two real news stories that there are, and I combine the one or two from this site, the one or two from that site, and from about 8 or 9 different sites, and then I squeeze them all together into a news ball. Then I let all the air out of that news ball and let it fly around the room going until it falls flat on the floor, until we've, pretty much let all the news air out of it and inhaled it. And you know what? When you inhale country music news, your voice gets really high, and we all talk like this. Are you ready? Oh yeah, there's one other thing. If we inhale some country music news, and it isn't really country music news. Okay, if we go to a website that's supposed to have country music news, and they got Jack Bupkis, I reward one unfortunate website each and every week with the Undercountry Music News Wet Belch of the Week. And it sounds a little something like that. All right? And that was live. That was real. That was me doing it right there. I can belch on cue, both in and out. Anyway, I do not want to vomit up my tuna casserole, so I'm just going to keep it holstered, keep it real. All right, we're starting off over at CMT, Country Music Television. What do they got over there? They got the Wet Belch of the Week right out of the gate. You know what? When I give the Wet Belch, I often give it to CMT because they are crappy music television, not country music television. They got nothing. They got press releases. They got garbage. They are mailing it in. They have a real penchant. But you know what? Every once in a while, those guys will surprise me, and I'll just get tons of news over there sometimes, but just not this week. CMT, not your week. But at Country Weekly, it is their week, because you can hear the new Josh Turner song, Lay Low, right over there. No, not Layla. Lay low, you got me on my knees. No, it's called Lay Low. And I had to listen to this tune from Josh Turner, and yeah, it was kind of a snore. It's about the only thing they have over at Country Weekly this week. Well, if you're big into Josh Turner, go check it out and let me know what you think. Taste of Country. Yeah, I'm tasting that tuna casserole again. But over at Taste of Country, they're delivering the goods this week. All right, got a few things over at Taste of Country. They have a 20-second snippet of a new Carrie Underwood song that is pretty much a pop gospel tune. And they're asking their readers to vote on it, on whether they think it's good or if it sucks. Now, unfortunately, you can't hear enough of the tune to really cast an informed vote, in my opinion. I will say that the 20 seconds I heard did not sound in the least bit country, which instantly annoys me in the context of it being posted on a country music website. Or then again, none of Carrie Underwood's stuff sounds country. She's a pop artist. And for some reason, she gets paid attention to in the world of country. Maybe because she's, kind of goody two-shoes. There's nothing wrong with that. I'm just saying that might be sort of why she ends up over there. Family values and all that. Anyway, what I did hear of this song sounded like pretty typical banal and bland pop. But then most all Christian pop and rock sounds pretty bland and unlistenable to me, which is why I, even though I am a Christian, can't stand to listen to Christian radio stations. Quite honestly, I can't stand to listen to any radio station, so I guess I'm not a real good barometer for this kind of thing. Because, I'm a DJ as my living, which means that when I'm not playing music, I'm usually listening to talk shows or complete silence. But anyway, Christian radio stations. The music mostly just sucks on Christian radio. But what I've heard of this new Carrie Underwood song sucks too. And what sucks even more is how annoying it is that pop artists like Carrie Underwood, Taylor Swift, Lady Antebellum, etc. are continually marketed as country artists because they think we're all stupid. And speaking of Lady Antebellum, they have just announced a new promotion called 7 for 7, in which they will surprise 7 fans in 7 days, I guess somehow using a 747 airplane. Not much more detail than that over there. I got an idea. How about you surprise your fans with some new music that doesn't suck? And Brantley Gilbert has apparently decided to use marriage as a publicity stunt. But this time, he's using other people's marriages as his publicity stunt, as he had his manager fill out paperwork to make him an ordained minister. According to the article, the guy didn't even fill out his own paperwork to become ordained. And Brantley Gilbert will be wedding couples next month at a music festival. Will he be reading from 2 Corinthians chapter 13? Love is patient, love is kind. I don't know. I will tell you that I do carry a unique perspective on this subject because, as I just said, I'm a DJ as my living, but weddings are the bulk of what I do for my living. I am a full-time professional wedding DJ. About 3/4 of the weddings I serve, I am actively involved in the ceremony as well, and I'm providing the sound, wiring the pastor with a microphone, playing all the prelude music, the aisle walks, special moments within the ceremony like candle lighting, sand ceremonies, unity, cross binding, hand fasting, foot washing, presenting roses to the mothers, and of course the recessional, which is the music that they walk away to. Now, I also make all the pre- and post-ceremony announcements, such as making sure everyone has their cell phones silent and also instructing them on where to migrate to after the ceremony. Now, despite my demeanor here on this show, that's not what I do in my wedding business. This is where I cut loose and I let the inner Neil out. My wedding DJ side, it's fun but more reserved. Now, I take what I do very seriously. This is usually one of the most special occasions of my clients' lives, and it's absolutely unthinkable to me to do anything that might cheapen it. In my opinion, getting married by some bro-country poser who got his license out of a Cracker Jack box for publicity's sake at a concert mass ceremony, I don't know, call me crazy, but in my perspective, my opinion is that cheapens what should be a very deep and meaningful moment in two people's lives and their families. I would have to say that not only does this bother me, but what Brantley Gilbert's doing kind of offends me. But it doesn't offend me that much, but it offends me a little bit. Because I hold marriage, you know, I got like a thing about marriage, okay? Anyway, I'm going to move along here. In other news, via Taste of Country, a female fan, a chunky female fan, and I'm only pointing out her weight for a specific reason. She slipped past security during the Jason Aldean concert. During the concert, climbed up onto the stage, walked right through both members of Florida Georgia Line who were singing a song with Jason Aldean at the time, and came straight after Jason Aldean, leisurely walking the entire length of the catwalk towards him while he was doing this funny little reverse run. And she only got intercepted by security once reaching the main stage. I mean, okay, there is like a comment on like, oh, Jason Aldean's a jerk. He should have gone and hugged that lady and shook her hand and whatnot. I think I vehemently disagree with that. I mean, who the F is running this security company? Do I need to go over this again? First off, it's not like she's in great shape. She's kind of overweight, which means she didn't get up on that stage super fast. There's no way. You know, it probably took her a little effort and a few seconds. The security's going do-de-do-de-do-de-do. She's coming right from the front of the stage from a catwalk that's out there. They don't see her. She gets right up there, walks right through both members of Florida Georgia Line, and straight after Jason Aldean. Leisurely walking, and she gets down the entire length of the catwalk. Doesn't get tackled, doesn't get intercepted, stopped, nothing until she gets all the way down the catwalk. You'd think the catwalk would be the most highly secured area of that stage because it goes out into the audience. Hello. All right. I got to tell you, if someone is crazy enough to come up on that stage in the middle of the concert, you as an entertainer, put yourself in the entertainer's shoes. You don't know if that person wants to kiss you or kill you, especially in Jason Aldean's case. No, this S is scary, and some security folks need to lose their damn jobs over this one. Moving right along, GAC, Great American Country. There is an article about David Nail and some of the lessons he learned while out on tour with Taylor Swift, Lady Antebellum, and Darius Rucker. And one part of the story really stood out to me. David Nail says in this interview that at the end of his tour, Darius Rucker came up, put his arm around him, and told him that if there is anything he hopes he has learned from he and his crew on that tour, it's how to treat people. Wow. Now, that one doesn't quite sound like a compliment there, David Nail. You know what I mean? Someone comes up, puts their arm around you, and says they hope that you've learned how to treat people. That's not usually them, saying anything nice to you. I guess it's nice in a way, because, but because if you had a booger hanging out your nose and you were about to go out on a date and your friend saw you, your friend needs to tell you got a booger hanging out your nose before you go on that date. Otherwise, I don't think they'd be a real good friend. I guess in the same context, if you're acting like an a-hole on tour and Darius Rucker considers himself a friend, he's probably going to come up and tell you, hey, stop being an a-hole. You'll get farther in this business. Anyway, also over at GAC, they are showing the video for Dierks Bentley's new song, Say You Do. And I had a look at it, and my opinion, it's just more milquetoast, watered down, radio-friendly, baby I love you crap. I'll take a pass. They also have the new video for Blake Shelton's new song, Neon Light. Wow, what an original title. It's about his girl leaving him, and he's sad and goes to drink beer. And he sees a neon light at the end of the tunnel. Bangs head on desk. No, not him, me. Bangs head on desk. I even wrote that in my notes to remind myself to bang my head on my desk. I ain't doing it. Anyway, GAC also has the new Zach Smith song, Brand New Party, streaming for your listening pleasure. And I'm happy to say that while this isn't exactly country, more folkish and Dylan-y and Americana-y, the lyrics are pretty creative and not just shoveling the same old shit. And I'll be honest, I didn't love it, but I certainly like it better than just about anything coming out of the radio these days. The lyrics were really good. The song's actually saying stuff, and cool. I'd rather hear something say something, even if I don't, totally get into it, rather than drivel that says nothing. Okay. Anyway, go check it out and form your own opinion. I bet you that, who knows, you may love this guy. So get on over there, check out that song. I highly encourage it. All right. Lady Antebellum is up to bat. And they have released their new song, Freestyle, on Spotify. I had to listen to it expecting to completely hate it, because I hate most of what Lady Antebellum does, but I would say about 1 in every 4 songs they release, I go, wow, I like that one. I would say I have that feeling about the song American Honey. Amazing song. One of my guilty pleasures is the song Downtown by them. I really like that song. I don't know why. I like it a lot. And this one, I gotta say, I didn't hate it. I didn't love it. It's not the song of the year for me, but, I liked it. It was fun. It's upbeat. Pretty brainless, but that's okay. It wasn't boring, and it is entertaining. Sounds like more of a summer song, but whatever. Check it out for yourself. That's Lady Antebellum's new song, Freestyle. You can hear it on Spotify. And in the picture for it, though, either Hillary Scott has lost a lot of weight, good for her if she has, or some criminal level photoshopping went on in the promo picture, because they photoshopped like half of her weight off, or they dropped in a very old picture of her. Now, I'm not capping on her for her weight. That doesn't bother me a bit. I just, I understand it's the entertainment business, but I believe the fans have spoken about Lady Antebellum, and they've said they don't give a crap what weight Hillary Scott feels comfortable being at. And I could give less than a crap at how heavy or not this lady is. Just stop fronting, stop photoshopping, and stop cropping her already in every video, showing her like from the chest up and, trying to hide her weight. We know she's not as thin as she was when she broke in Lady Antebellum. She got a few pounds on her, big deal. Nobody cares. It's cool, I ain't trying to get with her. She got a man. She got a kid. And it ain't mine, okay? So there you go. Over at theboot.com. Apparently Jamie Johnson is getting in the brouhaha to save RCA Studio A over on Music Row from the Wrecking Ball. Get Miley Cyrus on the case there, dude. She comes in like a wrecking ball. He does, however, acknowledge that the owners of that building, the developers who now own it, have and should have the right to do whatever they want with the property they own, which is very refreshing to hear someone actually acknowledge that when you own something, you should have the right to do whatever the hell you want with it. But he is going to try and do his best to find a resolution and not have Studio A get torn down. More power to them. They got until the end of the month, according to the developer, to get a bid in to buy it from them. And I believe this month's ending in a day or so. All tenants over there at RCA Studio A have been given notice that they are to vacate the building by December 1st. Jamie says he'll be in there to the end of November if he gotta be. Over at the 615, which is a subsection of Billboard.com, prosecutors have dropped the case against an 18-year-old Boston man accused of raping a 17-year-old girl on the lawn at an outdoor Keith Urban concert. Now, several episodes ago on this program, while the entire world of country was pretending to be shocked and horrified because they didn't bother to read any of the stories, they just read the headline and go, "Oh no, rape, rape, rape." I actually read the stories and some of the accounts, and I said here on this program that all the accounts I read made it sound like, although highly inappropriate, that the sex was consensual from multiple accountings that I read. And apparently witness after witness after witness has come forward to corroborate this, at the trial or whatever, or, depositions or whatever. I don't think it actually got into a courtroom yet. Apparently the rape accusation came from a bystander who had pulled the guy off the girl. And then apparently the girl stated that she had not consented. Drunk teenagers, gotta love them. They will fornicate you every time. In other tidbits over at the 615, a female Americana duo called the Hello Strangers has an article over there. They looked interesting in their picture. So I had to listen to some of their tunes over on Spotify, and I liked one song called Oh He'll Drown. Cheery little number, Oh He'll Drown. And I liked it well enough to look them up on the internet, find their website, and I wrote them a note asking them permission to play the song. I haven't heard back from them. I also extended an offer to have them co-host an episode of Undercountry Music and promised it would make them lose a massive portion of their fan base. I think I need to work on my pitch a little bit. Rounding things up, let's go check in with Nashville Gab. You know, I'm going to stop picking on Nashville Gab. They come up in the news search, but you know what? I really don't think they position themselves as a country music news source any longer. They did at one point, but they don't really seem to be positioning themselves that way these days. I think just Google's picking them up for some reason, and I think it's time I stop faulting them because they come up in those results for something they're not trying to be. I think they're just doing what they do, which is chit-chat about country stars and little gossipy things and keeping things light. Therefore, I think for the most part, I'll be glossing over Nashville Gab, having a peek there weekly to see what they're up to, and I'll report on it when they have something good. But because I don't really think they are a news page, and they're not trying to be a news page, I'm not really going to hold their feet to the fire like the other ones. You know, they have no news this week, just like Chit Chat. Check them out if that's what you like. And this has been your Undercountry Music News. Thank you for listening to the Undercountry Music News. The Undercountry Music News is just a small excerpt of the weekly hour-long internet broadcast Undercountry Music, where I, Neil Smith, not only round up the week in country music news and put my own spin on it, but I also play music and have great interviews by lesser-known original country acts, the kind that you won't hear on mainstream country radio. If you're thirsting for that, get on over to undercountrymusic.com where you can listen and subscribe. You can also subscribe via iTunes to Undercountry Music. Thanks so much. Stay under, stay country.